Hello everyone, welcome in or welcome back. It's lovely to see you again and I hope you're doing very well. So, a long time ago, probably about a year ago now, I did a video on UFDOLL's Cat TV series, and in that video I said I would probably hunt down the hidden, which we can see in the middle here, if I was able to surpass 8,000 in Tetris Effect. And I did long since do that, but I always felt like my initial journey to get to 8,000 was surprisingly easy when I actually sat down and focused up on it. So I was like, I don't know if I really deserve to open this. And then when I was talking on stream and one of my viewers gave me some very generous words and was like, you deserved it. You set a goal and you should open it. So I figured it's time to stop moving the goalpost for myself and reward myself for getting better at this game that I like so much, with this doll that has a little bit of the theming for the game. So we are finally going to be opening the hidden from the Cat TV series. I've been looking forward to this. I've had this sitting around for a while now. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to treat myself by opening this. Okay, let's get started. Moment of truth. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So here is the whale screen. I think the color choice for this doll is so pretty between the browns and the blues. I think that it is so cute. So let's go ahead and open the doll now. Now, I did cover these dolls pretty deeply in depth when I originally filmed it. However, that was before I got better lighting and a better camera, so it does kind of look like I filmed it while I was in a traffic light. So we're gonna go ahead and pretty much cover them from the top, especially since it's been a while. So we're gonna start with the doll itself, and we'll take a look at the TV head first. Now, unlike the other TVs, this one actually does have more decoration on the TV housing itself, which is pretty awesome. The front of the housing is this lovely, somewhat muted pastel blue with a couple decorations on the front. So we have a smiley face in a light yellow here, some clouds decorating each side. We have a little pink and yellow band-aid. For the actual built-in parts to it that are part of the sculpt, we have the slightly orange plus, some orange buttons, a brown button, brown for the vent. For the dials on the side, they are brown, with the center section being blue. The back of the housing case has this orange plus sign, a blue circle, and the back is generally brown as well. The vents on the sides, though, do peek out with a little bit of blue. So the front of the housing is attached with magnets, so it's easily removable. There are 4 in each corner and 4 on the corresponding inside as well. The screen can be easily popped out and thus replaced either with one of the other characters, or there's also the option to purchase the blank clear ones if you're looking to do something unique with it. Inside of the head, we can see there is a blue plate on the top, and that is magnetized where we were going to put the ears. There's quite a lot of room in the back here, so I have been seeing some people do some unique things and putting enough in there to give it an actual digital monitor, which I think is very, very cool. But otherwise, this back mostly just gives us access to the S-hook. Now for the body itself, we have articulation for the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, chest, legs, thighs, knees, and feet. The skin tone for the doll is pretty pale, and they also have some small details just in terms of sculpting. So there are lines for the spine, the booty, we have the collarbone sculpted in, as well as the little belly button. Now moving on to the hands and feet. For the hands, we have these paws that are pretty starkly white with a brown cuff, brown claws, and blue paw pads, one on each little nub in there. The shoes are a pretty fun mix of colors. So the bottoms are brown. The base of the shoe itself is orange. This little front here is white. The laces and this wraparound piece with the bow is blue. And finally, there's kind of a yellow cat donut at the top as well. Now for the TV screen, it is this pale pink in the background. There are some fish jumping out of the water. And in this little water segment, it leads from light blue to sort of a darker orange. Some little bubbles in yellow and white, as well as this orca that is swimming. Super duper cute. Out of everyone, this one was definitely the most detailed screen piece, and I think that certainly makes it the most striking. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the extra bits. First up is going to be the cord tail. Now this one is very, very cute. It is a cat at the end with brown prongs, pink decorating the ears, the nose, and the cheeks, and a little black face emoting for the tail there. Super duper cute. It then follows into this blue ribbon, and the cord is white all the way. Inside is a pretty strong wire, so you can shape as needed. If you don't want to use the tail and don't want to have the gap in the back for the magnet, they do also come with a little plug. On the back of the TV head, goes this little turning knob, which is orange in color. Now we have the ears, and as always, I have issues with the magnets coming out, but I suppose that's to be expected at this point. They're just much stronger than the amount of glue being used on them. In any case though, here are the two ears. They are orange in color. This one has kind of a little brown accenting design there. They have these little brown bobs at the top, some blue piercings, and then there's an additional white safety pin piercing for this side of the ear. These dolls do also come with replaceable hands and feet, though I do think the hands look a little bit chubby. Here are the various sculpts of fingered hands. They have a little kind of paw pad in the center, which is pretty cute, but I find that for the proportions, I think their hands are a little bit too stubby. But this one that's just a paw, it's kind of cute. In case you want to switch out their shoes, they do come with a pair of bare feet as well. On to the exciting part, the clothing packet. So it looks like it comes with 5 pieces here: the socks, the dress, the pants, and the overdress. Starting with the base dress, this is really quite cute even on its own. The base of it is just white with this sort of light salmon accent for the collars. The collars which have a little bit of ribbon leading off into these brown palms. A little bit of a salmon ruffle to the edge of the sleeves as well. And the sleeves are also poofed and kind of gathered at the edge here. Otherwise, in the center, there's just a strip of yellow ribbon and some blue buttons. Simple, but I think the actual design and cut of the dress is really, really cute. The socks are white and orange stripe with a little bit of a blue ruffle at the top. Matching those same colors with the orange and the blue are the little poofy pants. A little bit longer and baggier than pumpkin shorts. Blue ruffles at the edges. Now, the part that made this doll worth getting to me. So the base of this section is printed fabric. We see the D-pad on the right side and some buttons A-B on the left. On top of this brown canvas, we have the various imagery of similar Tetris pieces. Not actual Tetraminos, they don't quite look like this, but similar enough. And what is also so cute is on these little blue bows are these long piece Tetris blocks in red, blue, yellow, and pink. In the center, there's also this little TV patch with the words number 1, and the patch is blue, brown, yellow, and red. Now where the straps meet the dress are these little paws that are kind of a light off-white with pink paw pads and a brown skirt. And on the backside is a huge round bow. I love these little long piece charms. That is so stinking cute. Oh my god, I love it. This is such a nice way to reward myself for getting better at Tetris. I need to keep getting better and better, and this really motivated me. Time to get to dressing her up. Now in the first video, I did go through dressing them up since they have a little bit of a unique hands, head, and feet situation. And since I am pretty much re-recording the vibes of that video, we are going to go through and dress them up. Now, typically speaking, when I am recording a doll video, I choose not to include the dressing up segment, but in the future, if that is something that people would find helpful, please let me know, and I would be more than happy to include a section of dressing up at least one doll out of the set. I'm just going to use a safety pin to pop out the head here. Now, I can't recall if the other dolls had this issue, but I am finding that it is very easy to accidentally mar the top of the screen front here. I don't remember that being such an issue with the other ones. So we're going to start with taking the paws off, and these can be a little bit tricky since the little hook part is so rounded. Now, compared to their most recent doll line, I am glad that they switched to the magnetized hands. It definitely makes dressing them a lot easier, and I think that that is something that this doll line really would have benefited from, given their unique hand shape. So now that it's been a little while since these dolls have come out, if any of you guys have ended up picking them up, I would love to know your thoughts on them. As a whole, I was quite satisfied with them, and they still live on my desk as kind of my computer buddies. It's one paw back on. Now, I think that these dolls, in particular these TV ones, have so much potential. As I'm filming, I'm listening to the Animal Crossing soundtrack right now. I think like that would be such a cute one. Since these dolls are pretty big, I don't have room to make a doll for every single IP out there that I would love to see one for, but my gosh, they would be so cute. So this one is attached with just the piece of Velcro in the back. I suppose I didn't need to remove the head. Gives us a little bit more room to work with either way. Now I don't need to take the head off anymore, so I'm going to put the screen back on like so. Lastly are the pants and socks. So we're going to pull, we're going to wiggle it off, and then the pants on. And while I have the legs off, the socks can go on. Perfect. So that was pretty easy to dress, in my opinion, even though it does take quite a bit of energy to have to dress dolls over and over again. If I'm doing videos and stuff, if you have multiple, at the end of the day, dressing them up, I think is kind of part of the process to enjoy too. So for the video, I'm gonna opt not to put the tail on just because I do have the top down setup, so it kind of makes her harder to have her lay down if the tail is sticking in the back. Now that we have all the clothes on, it's time to put on the extra pieces, starting with the little wind-up. Stick that in there. And then for the ear with the piercing, I'm gonna stick this into the established gaps for it. Seems like this one might have been a smidge too brittle, as there's a little bit of a crack forming here where I had to stretch it a bit. But if that breaks, I will deal with it at that point. But it looks like even though there is the crack that formed there, it's still sitting inside just fine. One ear on and the other ear on. And with that, our doll is fully dressed. So final thoughts on this one. I'm so happy that I ended up getting her. I think that the details on this doll are really beautiful and definitely rewarding of being a hidden. I missed it while talking about the dress, but she also has this little fluffy underskirt, which is cute. But the contrasting colors are really lovely. I enjoyed what they did for the dessert doll for a very similar reason, that they contrasted kind of like a yellow and a brown and kind of pulled together those sort of pudding themes by having those two colors together. And in a similar way, I enjoy having the darker brown with the blue and the orange. I think all of them also match each other very well, just in terms of sort of like a color temperature, and it's just a very warm feeling doll. My colors on camera do get bumped up to be a little bit more saturated, so you can see that the brown has these sort of warmer tones to it, and so with the orange also having kind of pink undertones and the blue being a little bit more muted, I feel like it all draws together to make a really beautiful doll. I also like the splashes of color from the Tetramino blocks on the bottom. I think they look super duper cute. And you can tell the color palette also was kind of chosen to match those tones as well. The yellow being a little bit more muted and the purple being a little bit warmer. Super cute. Also, the charms on the side, cutest little detail ever. I didn't even know that these were on there in the promotional photos, so that was such a little treat to be able to see in person. So as a whole, I think this doll has such a interesting blend of ideas between like the sky themed TV housing, the ocean themed TV screen, the Tetris themed dress. It's really, really cute, and even though all of those parts are kind of different, I find that they just kind of blend together nicely and ultimately create a very, very beautiful doll. Now, I think there is a part of me that is always going to be like, I wish the details that were in the hidden were also extended to the dolls in the main line. Not that the mainline dolls were not detailed by any means. All of them were really, really beautiful as well. But just in terms of the extra decorated housing, the little parts of the embroidered patch, like those little differences in texture and everything, I think always make a doll a lot more visually interesting, and this doll does those parts really, really well. So I like that this one has a lot of three-dimensional components between the little paws, the palms, the patch, just really, really cute. And I also love, for a base like this, between each doll that was in the set as well as the hidden, how much they were able to add variety. This sort of TV box screen gives them so much room to play with things, and I'm glad that the hidden has a more detailed faceplate. Kind of wish that the other ones also did, beyond having just sort of the background and then a couple symbols on it, but this does make sense for being the hidden and therefore being more detailed. Now, this doll is also going to be really sentimental to me, even beyond just the fact that it was my little reward for getting better at Tetris. I started playing a lot within the last probably 3 years at this point, and it was something that I did a lot with a friend who is very dear to me, and it was our way of bonding, and then I kept pushing myself to get better and better. Also, the Twitch community for it has always been so lovely every single time I go live playing Tetris Effect. I think this doll is ultimately going to have a lot of sentimental value in terms of the people that I was able to meet through playing Tetris and the time I was able to spend with my friend. I want to strive to become even better, I think. And now I have this doll to remind me that that's possible for myself, I suppose. So this is going to be a shorter video since I'm just covering the one single doll, but I still hope that you enjoyed. This hidden is really special and really beautiful, and I think the unique concept and everything definitely makes it quite an eye-catching piece to add to a collection. So hopefully you enjoyed, and if you like the TV cats, of course let me know who you like, which one you like. If you had one and you could theme it based off something you like, what would you add to the screen? Wouldn't that be kind of interesting? But with all that said, I hope you have a lovely, wonderful, moisturized, beautiful, blessed rest of your day. And I'll see you next time, whether that be in a stream or a video. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. Oh, and I also have a Discord that will be in the description if you want to join. Okay, bye-bye!